rock climb, show up and win. Never stop striving, it's gonna be worth it, wait and see. Building your legacy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brick by Bricks podcast, where we talk about building others up through competitive collaboration and changing the real estate industry one agent at a time. I'm your co-host, Dylan Dansby, alongside Curtis Haddock and Brooke Massey. Woo!
Hey,
How's it going, everybody?
When you started, I started getting into my head, like, wait a second, do I look directly at the camera?
I know, and then you looked at me.
Do I look at Brooke? And then I was like, I'm just going to look at Dylan.
I know, and I can feel your guys'
I saw
eyeballs,
you.
touching me. I'm like, guys,
yeah.
let me just say it.
Boy, hey, we have a doozy of a topic today.
I can't wait.
I am excited about it. But wait.
Listen, I was on my way to work every single day of my life since I started my real estate career. Not every day. A year and a half in,
but
every day.
Yeah, but this topic, is an everyday topic, and nobody likes to talk about it. Or there's a weird
perception.
It's a weird perception, bad vibes around when you hear this word. It's like immediately negative, which doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
And I think people already know what the word is because it's in the title of our podcast. Yeah.
Hey, don't say that.
You don't say that. No, but for real.
Mindset of recruiting.
Yeah, we want to talk about like what it actually is and like
what it means and how you should feel if you're being recruited, because you should feel good if you're being recruited.
Unless it's someone's like, you should join Bricks or you should join this or come here. And it's like, there's no thought and intention behind it. Then that's annoying. I get that.
It's just like you're just a number.
A number. But if someone's like, hey, like I really think you could benefit from that, then that's, someone looking at my career and what I'm already doing and saying, hey, like might have something that may be better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, because we truly believe that our system could benefit most people if they think about their real estate career as a business, which is how everybody should be, because we're all entrepreneurs, we're all self-employed, independent contractors. So you're a business, and if you're thinking like a business, then the word recruit should be a part of your vocabulary, and you shouldn't get turned off by it. So with that, what's the first thing we're going to talk about?
Well, just I want to break down what it actually means to recruit. And I actually got this again with another book, but the Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. Okay, everybody knows who Gary Keller is. If you don't, he's the one that
he's the founder of Keller Williams.
Yeah, he found Keller Williams.
So he's
right?
pretty good at recruiting.
Yes, 100%, because he's the biggest one out there. But he actually, in the book, it talks about how to become a millionaire real estate agent as far as on the producing side of things.
Yeah.
Okay?
In fact, you cannot become a millionaire real estate agent if you don't recruit at some level.
It literally, and I can't remember exactly what part of it, but there's a part of the book and it says you have to become a master recruiter. In almost every business book I've ever read, they talk about no matter if you're in real estate or you're owning an oil company or you own a pet shop, you have to become, if you want to grow your business and scale your business, you have to become good at recruiting. So in that book, he talks about like there's 7 levels as far as like how you start from when we just become a real estate agent, you're a single agent, all the way through to the very, very top where you are making millions of dollars as far as production and selling real estate. And so he breaks it down like
7 levels.
There's 7 levels.
I only broke it every time I break it down to like 3 levels.
Well, I break it down to 3 levels because
the 3 main levels.
Yeah, the 3 main levels, because it literally starts out from like you get your real estate license,
and that's a level.
And then it literally and then level 7 is replacing yourself completely.
Okay, yeah.
And your business running successfully on its own.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the book, and I'll just sum it up, it's, okay, you get your license, you become a top producing agent. You may sell 60 transactions a year, okay? 60 transactions is a lot of transactions that you can do, especially if you have a family, and depending on your scenario or whatever, some people like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I want people that like to do that and sell 60 homes a year. We need more people like that. Mm-hmm. But then after that, a majority of people, they instantly go, okay, well, how
How do I
can
do more?
I?
How do I do more?
And how do I do more? How do I have better time and whatever else? So
Well,
first thing
well,
that
what
you
we
do,
talk about, there's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So
Yeah.
if you're selling 60 houses, and you want to sell more, you have to change them, which is what Brooke is going to
Or
go
duplicate
into.
yourself.
You got to do something because it's all good, man. It's all good. Now you're on the podcast.
I mean, he wasn't until you made
I
it.
know. But since there's only 24 hours a day, if 60 houses is your max, like your max output, then there's no other way to grow unless you increase your average sales price, right?
Right.
If you're just going to keep selling 60 houses a year, unless you take the next step, which is
Next step, most people usually go get a transaction coordinator and or an assistant. Sometimes they're both. But then the next kind of step, and this is kind of where it gets into 7 steps, it starts layering it out.
yeah.
But then people get a buyer's agent, okay? Because it's a lot of time.
What's the point of a transaction coordinator?
Transaction coordinator helps you deal with your paperwork, and it's just another system put in place. So that way you can go out there and take better care of your clients, go get more clients so you can sell more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
than
say.
60 transactions.
That's how that's the first step to increasing your output is you have somebody that's doing the non-money making activities is what we like to call it. You as an entrepreneur, your most valuable the best way for you to spend your time is a good way to put it is for you to be doing money making activities and to be hiring out or delegating the tedious, the non-money making activities like paperwork and even potentially writing offers if you are at that level where you have somebody who's capable of doing that, or just anything that is not prospecting and meeting new clients and putting deals under contract.
Well, most time boggling.
Yes.
Is staying organized. That is the hardest thing I think about being a real estate agent, because once you go meet 100 people, well, now you got to organize those 100 people and know when to follow up.
Sending
and
emails
stuff.
out, text, setting up campaigns. I mean, you can have somebody, if you can pay somebody to do all of that, then you can for sure increase your output from 60 to maybe 90 houses in a year.
Well, and then people, after they get a transaction coordinator, they're like, okay, well, I'm still trying to grow, and what takes the most amount of time is driving buyers around all the time. If they're constantly in a car, I've even heard people hire a driver before. Thought that was really smart.
That'd be like an assistant type almost.
But they'll get a buyer's agent. Or maybe sometimes people will get 2 buyer's agents. Well, then they'll get to another level, and then they'll get a listing agent on their team.
And I think sometimes people do that too soon too. So like when you get a buyer's agent, if you start getting buyer's agents, then you should be at a point in your career where if you didn't get a buyer's agent, you would be turning business away.
Yes.
If you're not turning business away, then you should be doing that business to maximize your income. But when you have maximized your output, you have put a TC in place and you've maximized your output with the TC. And if you are consistently building your pipeline, then you're going to consistently get more and more deals. And all of a sudden, the deals from your past are going to be referring you deals. So you are going to be overwhelmed with deals that you can't handle on your. There's not enough time in the day to handle on your own.
And then you're losing money.
Yeah, then now you're losing money, or you're referring it out to other companies or other agents, but
then you're
losing
still
out.
losing money, because if you go refer to someone else, well, now you're getting 25% of 3%.
Yep.
Or whatever it is.
But if you get a buyer specialist, you can. Not only can you pass the deal off to that person on your team, and you can have some sort of team agreement where you take a certain part of the commission, which in most cases is more than 25%, but now you have agents that are connected, and you're going to get a cut of the deals that they do from their own network and not just your overflow. Mm-hmm. So that's when you get a buyer specialist, and then you might hire a listing specialist, which that's the last thing that you should do when you start a team is get a listing specialist, because you should be able to handle, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number, 50 listings by yourself at one time.
So,
You know?
so correct me if I'm wrong here. So you guys are both saying that in each level that you're going through, you're recruiting. You're
Well,
trying to find.
I haven't even got
somebody, right?
to the third or the third level.
Well, let's get to the third level.
What was the third level?
So the third level is after they build a team, because it's still limiting, because you're bringing on buyer's agents and listing agents. Maybe not a listing agent, but buyer's agents. You're constantly having to refill that position
Yep.
because you're bringing on people into the industry.
You're training them.
You're training them, but then they see you and they're like, well, I want to be you. Right. And so they leave your team.
I'm tired of giving up 50%.
So it's like, but then so people are still constantly bringing people onto the team. I'm going to try to not use recruiting. They're bringing people onto the team. But then after that, they get tired of it. Well, agree.
I mean,
agree.
The idea is that recruiting is negative content. It is recruiting, with however you like it or not. But at other companies that do teams, like, you can recruit inside your company for talent.
Yeah.
You know, to see if they want to join your team. But you're looking for the right person to fill that position.
Yes. But then after that, people usually, they get tired of people going in and out, or, I mean, it's a lot. You have to be in control of your team until you get to the 7th level, and you can get to a point where you can completely replace yourself and still make money that way. And you definitely can. But that's like 1% of people out there, especially in the real estate industry.
And replacing yourself is you have somebody take over your spot, you're making money, and you are not having to do the recruiting or the training or the prospecting. I mean,
that's a true business
you're now,
owner.
that's what we
Going
call
back
it.
to our
You're on
very
a
first
beach.
episode.
You're on a beach drinking Mai Tai, still making a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually after that, if people don't get to that, they still want to. They're tired of people leaving, and they're like, hey, well, I have an idea. Instead of people leaving my team and I lose money on them, well, I'm going to go start my own brokerage. And then that way I can still have a team. And if people leave, then they can just stay underneath my brokerage and I'm still making money off of them.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of becoming a broker or having a brokerage, not all brokerages out there do this, but a majority of them, they don't care about their split. They want their spread. They want the other end of the transaction. So if it's an 80-20, they want that 20% on every single deal, or
every person that they recruit.
Yeah.
They want to be able to get they want to make a certain percentage of every single deal.
Because then it's like, I don't have to, if you're bringing on really good top producers, they're not on your team. You don't have to manage them. It doesn't matter. They're just out there just making you money. Mm-hmm. And so, like, in Oklahoma City alone, there's 950 brokerages, which is crazy. But at the same time, I get it. I see it as entrepreneurship at its finest. Bricks wouldn't be bricks if we didn't have that same mentality. But going back to it, yes. I mean, the whole point of it, and Dylan, you can chime in if you want, is yes, from the very first, you become either a solo agent. But then as soon as you start bringing on a transaction coordinator or a buying agent, or you start your own brokerage and you start bringing people to your brokerage or attracting people to your own brokerage, guys, that is recruiting. Mm-hmm. If you have a dog shop, this is what I've been going to, or just a pet shop, right? Well,
which one have you been going to?
My own.
You have your own pet shop?
Wait,
I love animals.
You have a Brooke Massey pet shop?
Yep. Prince Harry's there. He runs it most of the time.
Nice.
Prince Harry's my cat for people.
So I'm
can see him with
assuming
little
I'm assuming this is the analogy you always go to.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have been, because it's like, it's so silly that it's a pet shop. But at the end of the day, if I'm hiring a pet shop and I want my pet shop to grow, and maybe I want to offer dog walking or offer different services or whatever, you can do that in real estate too. Guys, I'm going to go hire someone, teach and train them to take that position. There is nothing different than what we're doing. It's just such a bad perception and connotation. Is that a word?
Yeah, connotation. Yeah.
People are like, oh, recruit, because there are people out there that just like, they have no idea what they're doing. At the end of the day, if I see something in you and I say, hey, I want to talk to you, it's because I actually see something in you, and I don't want to waste my time recruiting you to somewhere else.
I think we've have talked about this a little bit before, but I'd like to know, like, why exactly is that people really, they're like off guard, they take it the wrong way, that you're trying to attract or recruit them to your team?
Because people, I think it's because, in my personal, this is my personal opinion from what I've witnessed. When I see people get upset when you approach them about about recruiting or about your brokerage, they don't have the time, and they think they don't have the time, and they don't want to be sold something. They think that they're just like, no, I'm happy with what I have and I'm good, and I am not interested in hearing anything that you have to say. It's a complete waste of my time. But
We're business owners. How is it a waste of time?
But that to me always sounds like an opportunity knocking on your door.
Well,
right.
even if say if I never recruited people whatsoever, say I was just, well, I would be a recruiter if I had a traditional team, right? But let's say I just had a very, very small team. It was me, transaction coordinator, maybe a buyer specialist, and I was happy, and I don't want to grow my business anywhere past that. Well, if I keep having to replace my buyer specialist, it's in my best interest as a business owner to understand other people's systems and how other people run their team and whatever else, so that way I can be better, so that way maybe I don't have to keep replacing this person over and over again.
You're like, what is that person running to? Like, why are they leaving that to where you have to constantly replace them? It's important to know what people are seeking, what they're after.
And we always say, if the money and opportunity was right, would you sit down and just talk to us, right?
Have a conversation.
The answer to that question should always be yes. And that's always how I answer that question if someone were to ask me.
Well, that's what, and Curtis, don't hit me. Maybe I should scoot over. But I tell people all the time, like, listen, if there was something out there and the money and opportunity was better for myself and my team, I'm going to go listen to it. I'm probably going to run back to Curtis and be like, hey, we need to change something.
Yeah, we already. Yeah.
But if there was something that you couldn't,
to do that.
You know what I mean? No, 100%. And it's not anything or not being loyal or whatever. Obviously, you guys just saw it right there. And there's a video on YouTube, so you guys can prove that Curtis didn't hit me. But still, I mean, in all seriousness, I really, really mean that. Like, I want to know I'm a business owner.
Yes, but
is there something simpler, better?
But what other owner or broker would tell their agents if there's a better opportunity with more money or something that's going to be better for your business, better for you and your family? What kind of jerk would tell someone not to go listen to that opportunity? I want all of our agents to understand what they're in, the model that they're in. If they get somebody recruiting them and they're getting you got to make sure that you're not getting sold, rainbows and sunshine. And the only way, no smoke and mirrors. The only way to ensure that you're not being sold something and that they're pulling one over you is to fully understand what you are in and what you have and why. And then what are they trying to sell you on and why? And what is their goal? What is their vision? What is your goals? And what is your vision for your life and your business? And is that going to help you accomplish those? And at Bricks, the reason why I'm okay with people going and learning is because what we talk all the time about wanting to improve on what we are doing and what we have. Our system from day one is not the same system that we have today because we've met with other business owners and other leaders, not worse. And we've always improved it and made it better. And so to Brooke's point, and she knows that if there was a better opportunity, and because Brooke really understands the system that she's in, she could pick apart any other real estate brokerage's system. If some genius out there has some crazy way of doing it, then we want to know it, because then Brooke will come back and say, hey, I just learned this. Like, how do we do this? We're going to look at our system and we're going to be like, and if it truly does make it better, guess what we're going to do? We're going to change it to become better. What other brokerage out there that would actually do that, or at least admit that they would do that? Because there's also a stigma around changing your system, because people think you should never, and
define the better, I guess you could say, because some people could be like, well, we may think it's better, but maybe they don't think it's better.
So
Like marketing. A brand new agent come in, they're like, "Oh, you don't have a $5,000 marketing package," and they just want to walk.
Sure. So
and it's important, not just crediting that, but it's just as an example.
So for us, better
we don't
is
have a
going.
$5,000 marketing credit
No.
for us to have.
No, because
There's the door
but here's
just kidding.
here's what better is. It's not gonna fall. But here's what better is. Better is we are. It's all about revenue share. It's all about money in your pocket. Okay. So would you rather your brokerage retain the money and decide how to spend $5,000 on marketing budget for you? Or would you rather the $5,000 cash be in your pocket and you decide what you want to do for your business with the marketing and resources and what you want to spend your money on? Now, we do provide the resources and technology that we personally believe is necessary for you to run a successful real estate business.
Keyword, run a business.
Yes.
So
when we are making things better, we're either putting systems in place that's going to help you get to that stage 7 of replacing yourself, becoming a business owner, and or we're putting more money in our agents' pockets. Why is that an important distinction? Because
the agents are the one growing this brand.
100%. And so we want them to be compensated
and
for that and in control of their own business is a great way to put it. So when we are saying we're going to make things better, it's with the idea of we're not going to change the system to where you are being sold this system of like, okay, I'm going to build a team and recruit and I'm getting all this revenue share. And then all of a sudden the whole concept and mentality changes to where that whole team that you just built means nothing to you anymore. We're not going to do that. We are essentially going to make it to where, like when we started, we only go 4 tiers deep. Well, one of the things that we're changing is we're going 7 tiers deep. So that just increased the number of people that you're going to get revenue share off of,
in the
which long
longevity of our
term,
business.
and it increases the number of people that you're going to make money off of, which in turn also should motivate you to now help train and build more leaders at deeper levels.
Love it.
Because recruiting's not easy, guys.
No, it's not.
That should go on to the next segment. Is we got the people that want to recruit.
How does it happen?
How do you recruit?
No,
How does it happen?
How does it work?
No, I love this, and so because I just said this in a recruiting appointment as we were in Florida last week, and about just in general, like my story, because people instantly they're like, "Oh, Brooke, you're a recruiter," and I'm like, "How do you say that?" And I've never even tried to recruit you, like all the time and whatever else. But at the same time, I'm like, guys, I didn't even understand it until later on, until Curtis over here told me to go start meeting people and learning what's out there. And so I did that. I just met people. I wasn't trying to recruit. I just had coffee and I made friends. I was, went full time into this. And, I'm like, well, what does everybody else do? Right. I get all this here, but I want to know what other people do and other brokerages. And so we just had coffee and they'd be like, blah, 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 blah. I have to pay $150 monthly fee. And I'm like, we don't have monthly fees. And just kind of just had a casual conversation, and it just organically started happening and people starting to see success and whatever else. So it was very, very organic. It wasn't me going after a bunch of people. I just simply went out there and made relationships.
And even making relationships, you want to be picky when you decide this is somebody I want to bring into my business, because the reason why recruit gets such a another reason why the word recruit is so negative out there is because most places are promising the moon. They're saying like, oh my gosh, you're going to become a millionaire off of recruiting. It's going to all be passive. You just got to go get people and then you're going to make money off of all their sales and this and this and that. And like they sell this pipe dream that is not realistic. As Brooke said, recruiting, not only recruiting, managing your people is tough. It's not passive. It's just another activity that becomes part of your business. And again, the reason why it's so negative is because people just want anybody and everybody. If they're breathing and they have a real estate license, come on, I want you on my team because I want to make money off of you. And I don't care what your character is. I don't care how many deals you sell. You're connected to people and you might sell 1 or 2 houses a year.
But what happens when you hire that dog walker and you don't train him how to walk a dog?
That
The dogs don't get
loose.
walked.
Yeah.
The dogs don't
gonna
get walked.
loose and run
But
away.
I mean, yeah, like that, and like to your point, not to like cut you off.
Well, no, I
but,
mean
like,
that's the point though, is that
you have to train them.
you got to be picky about your business, and and since you have to train them and you have to be active in that, well, then character is important. You don't want to hire a dog walker that is an animal thief,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and bring somebody in that doesn't, or somebody who is lazy. Like if you're going to hire a dog walker and you find out that they're lazy, you can't bring them on board and expect them to get motivated and excited to walk all the time. You know, I mean, you got to be realistic about your business and what you're looking for, and you got to hire to that. And another book that we've been reading, aside from Millionaire Real Estate Agent, is the book called Traction. And one of the best ways to gain traction in business is to hire the right people for the right job, right? Not everybody is meant to be self-employed or entrepreneur or what have you. And so if you are bringing somebody in and their mindset is so afraid of self-employment, or they're so afraid of not knowing where their next paycheck is coming from, it might paralyze them to not even be able to do the work necessary to get some sales. That person, you know, is probably not going to be good for your business. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't learn and they can't be their mindset can't shift. But you got to be aware of who people are, what their personality is, what they're good at, what they're not good at, and teach people how to delegate further and hire out their weaknesses. But
How have you, because even before you started Bricks and stuff, you were in a revenue share type model. How did you recruit people when you were building your team? Like really, really focus on that.
Yeah, so very, very similar to what I told you to go do is it's all about relationships. It's no different than producing. Producing is all about relationships and getting in front of people. We are in a people business. We are in a referral business, right? And so I had friends and family. If they hear people that need a job or that aren't happy where they are and they want to try a new career, they would send them to me. If every time I did a cross sale, if I enjoyed the person I worked with, I always told them how great it would be to continue to work together even past the transaction, right? And those conversations are sometimes long term. There's been several people that you do a transaction with and you end up getting them on your team, but it's not till months later, sometimes over a year later. I mean, I had people that I met with and I would talk to about the business, and their mindset wasn't ready to hear what it takes to really run and grow a real estate business. They're still on stage 2 of the steps, right? They're still trying to figure out how to produce. And so their mindset is not, they never even thought about it on a bigger scale. Then all of a sudden 2 years goes by and they've done several transactions and they're like, man, I really want to grow past this. Hey, I remember that conversation I had with Curtis a couple years ago. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I want to hear more about the business. I want to come in and talk to you about it. And those phone calls don't happen if you're not actively talking to people about real estate and actively involved and just sharing what you do.
Well, yeah,
you know,
you can do a lot through production, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, because you're out there, you're meeting people. So like that's always been my thing. After the transaction, listen, there's some transactions I like, no, I'm never talking to this realtor again, right? But there's other times I'm like, I'll either see someone struggle, and that's kind of like my why. I want to help people. There's a 90% fail rate of agents out there, and so many places don't offer support. If I can offer support, whether they come to Bricks or not, I feel like I'm just helping people. But to your point, like that just helps along the way, right? Because they may do this for a couple years and not get anywhere, and then remember or whatever. It's just a very organic thing. It's just helping.
You want to know what has never worked?
What?
I mean, not that it wouldn't work, but I don't get a lot of good results from this. Is just DMing people and saying, "Oh my gosh, I got this really cool way to make money. You got to come hear me out about real estate. Have you ever thought about real estate? Come on board."
It works if you send it to like
1,000 people. Yeah, I mean,
like Grant Cardone 10X.
Yes, you just send it out, and then you'll get some people respond. And if you make it a little catch line, then that's great. But then I don't know who I'm getting if I'm sending that out. Now, not that I'm totally against doing that, but when you organically, naturally kind of grow your team and your downline through relationships and through people, you're going to build a much stronger foundation, much stronger relationships. You're going to teach them to do the same thing. Eventually, your team will grow on its own because you're teaching them how to do the exact same thing. And something that Dylan and I talked about, it was, at some point you can turn this into not just recruiting one person at a time. The best way to really grow your business is to recruit in the masses, right?
Yes.
And so we started calling and talking to just entire brokerages to see if, and it all comes down to, how can we help each other? How can we help you grow as a brokerage? We look for brokerages that maybe, dropped in volume year over year and they're struggling. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we can put systems in place to help you take your business back to where it used to be through the systems that we have in place. And then there's one other thing I was going to say, and I can't remember. And cold calling works too, right? I mean, it's harder and it takes longer. But if you can cold call and you can get people to at least just have to meet with you to talk about business, to pick each other's brain and just get to know people in your local real estate market. It doesn't have to be like I'm trying to recruit you from that. Seek to learn, seek to understand. And if you don't understand something about another real estate company's business, call somebody that is there and tell them, hey, I'm interested in learning about your business, and go talk to them about it. Make sure you understand your business though if you do that, because you got to be able to compare the right way.
Yeah, because once you understand, I mean, there's only a handful of like systems that are really out there. So once you understand like transaction base, a cap, and not just understand the math behind it, but understand why those exist. What's the purpose of them?
So, well, it'll help guide your conversations easier. It'll help you be able to ask certain questions to get to what you're trying to get out of the conversation, to maybe the other person across from you, to have them open and realize that, there's other opportunities that may be better for them. Mm-hmm. You never know until you get out there and have the conversation.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Going into our third one is really just talking about the power of it. And a little bit, there's a book that also we like to read. It's not a published book, but it's called The Magic of Compound Recruiting.
It should be published. So that's,
published. And it like,
published.
Huh?
She said published.
Oh,
it should be published.
Yeah, I'm not good with words. I can't spell either. Give me math and science, and I got you.
Yeah,
we're talking to people. But the power of
that's
it.
That's a crazy good combination, by the way. Your math, science, and you're good talking to people.
Oh, that's true.
That's a.
I'm not like, never mind. But the power of it. So like, what's like? I guess the there's so many things I want to say.
Go read Magic of Compound Recruiting.
I know, just go read it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. No, the power of it. So like I'll just talk about like the level that I'm at right now, and kind of just feeding off what you were just saying, Curtis, about, now you can start getting into the masses and whatever else. And so for me, that's where I'm at in my team building model. Because one, now I don't have to produce if I don't want to. I produce because I want to, because I still want to go help people. I still like doing the transaction and whatever else. But my biggest passion is in my team and helping them. I'm producing through my team. I'm helping them do transactions and whatever else. But most
you could have 40 deals
importantly-
under contract, but only maybe 3 of them are yours.
Oh yeah, no, I actually pulled it up, and most importantly,
And be able to
is-
track your business. If you
Yeah, I
don't have
forgot.
something to track your business, get something. And this is what we do to each other. We interrupt each other and get realtor brain.
No, you guys interrupt each
I
other.
kept it for the first 2 times. Well, I do it to you too, and then I was like, okay, crap, now I forgot. Realtor
Shoot,
brain.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, the
You were saying.
the power of it. So
compound- yeah.
now, if I wanted to go be a top producer right now, my team has 75 listings and 28 buyer contracts under contract right now. I could not do that
by yourself.
by myself. Okay.
And so people say you're a recruiter. You're not a producer. Okay.
But I can pull up a lot
I'll
of
argue that
transactions
recruiting is harder than producing.
and I can tell you, because guess what? Whenever it's way harder, because guess what? When my team's out there doing good, guess what problems they're calling me on? All of the problems.
Yeah.
And
You now.
yeah, I got a mad person and and what do I do? How do I navigate it? That is so much harder
And
than
you're
producing
learning.
on
You're
my
learning
own.
way more and much faster than if you were just doing one transaction at a time for yourself.
Yes.
So,
and now one
That's
more
over.
thing.
That's over 100 transactions just in those numbers that you said. As far as like right now,
right now.
that's not even for the whole year.
Yeah, no.
That's just right now. So,
well, now I really can focus on the masses. So now I'm at a point with my team. I have 80 agents on my team in multiple markets. Well, now I can go after the masses. I can go after transactions. I can go after agents, and I help benefit my team that way. And now I'm just going to keep growing and growing and growing. So I'm pretty close to sitting on the beach and just drinking Mai Tais. Just kidding.
you're pretty far away.
I know I'm very far away, but
Give it like
that's
3
the
or 4 more
power
years.
of it, right? I'm
Yeah.
making a good income. I'm taking care of people, not just my
Building
60
others up.
transactions.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. People get in this business not only because they want to run their own business, because they truly love helping people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They help people as far as buying and selling and helping educate people, maybe even help people get into investing and stuff like that. And I tell people, I'm like, well, I take it one step further. I do that too. But now I'm helping change other people's careers.
Yeah, you're helping
And now
people
I
on a
can't
whole nother
wait
level.
10, 15, 20 years, and I see the people that I've helped teach and train. I can't wait to see their kids grow up, and they have kids and their grandkids, and what we've all just discovered and learned throughout these years. How powerful is that?
And now they have money to send their kids to college or to be financially free. We get to help people learn the business and reach those goals because they are attainable. And our second core value is think big, do big. We don't want people to limit their thought process. You want to have financial freedom? Go get it. Just you gotta show up every day. You can't take days off. You
I
can take days
remember.
off, but you gotta make sure you're not taking several in a row.
Core value number
remember-
4 is self-accountability.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's number one. We just switch them all up.
She remembers.
I remember.
But I thought you said it was the power.
Going back to, this is the power. And I really want people to really think about this. So going back to those, the 3 stages or the 7 stages, I guess, in the millionaire real estate agent, right? Until you're like basically replacing yourself. And that is a business that you can complete. Now I forgot again.
Okay. Well, I know where I don't know if this is where you're going with it,
I
like
remember.
a tipping point.
I got
like
it.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a tipping point.
Okay.
So,
Funny.
so until you replace yourself.
Literally
But
watched her
if
lose
you
it.
go, okay, you're a top producing agent, then you build a successful team, and then you own a brokerage and you run your own brokerage. There's still so much limiting to that because then if I bring on agents, all they can do is buy and sell real estate. And then they are going to also eventually leave me and maybe start their own brokerage. And that's why we've got 950 brokerages in just Oklahoma City metro area.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the power of being in a system like I'm in, and for recruiting. Now I don't only have those people buying and selling transactions, I also have them building their business. So my business is constantly growing. So now when I started out recruiting, it was just me. And now I'm at 80 people in 3 different states growing my team without me even knowing about it.
Sky is the limit. And in our system, you guys, in the brick system, and this is not just we're not trying to just plug our system and bricks.
I mean, just revenue share in general.
Just revenue share models in general. Look at them. If you don't understand them, meet with somebody that really understands it, because
call Curtis. He knows math.
A lot of people in the revenue share models, they don't even understand what they're in and the power of it and how it all works with qualifying factors and production and things like that and different tiers. So what was I gonna say?
Ooh. Realtor brain.
Dang it.
Magic compound recruiting.
No.
Recruiting is not a bad word.
Bring it back.
No.
Unless you just bring people on and
come on, it's right there.
No, stop. So you guys are making it harder.
We're on both sides.
We're building a business of businesses.
Oh.
And dang it. No. This was going to change everybo's life.
Gotta be fascinating.
Everyone's
It can't be that
that's
important.
it. I'm recruiting.
It can't be that important, I guess. But I was saying, really understand. I'm trying to think my way back into it. Really understand the revenue share models. Our system. That's what I was going to say.
Ding, ding, ding.
In our system, we have you have the ability. Okay, now I want you guys to really hear this. If you're out there listening, watching, whatever you're doing, I want you to really hear this, and then I want you to think through it, and I want you to try to, if you figure out how is this possible, because most people I tell this to have no idea how it's possible. When you start a brokerage, you have capital expenditures. You got a ton of it. If you do it the right way, you're talking several $100,000. Okay. You have liability and risk. Okay. Most people would try to prevent you from starting a brokerage for those 2 reasons alone. That's what they all say. Because they want to keep you and retain you. Listen, if you want to go start a brokerage, go start a brokerage. Just make sure you know why you're doing it and that there's nothing out there that you can do that's better, that's going to give you a better opportunity to make more money. Because why would you want to go work harder and have all this liability and risk and to make less money? Okay. So in our system, I actually wish that this existed so I could just run my team in a system like this. You have the ability, okay, to own what you build here. 100% of what you build, you can own it and you can sell it to somebody. You can sell it back to the company, or you can sell it off and get paid for the business that you build. Okay, you have the ability to earn revenue share off of that, okay? And that's where the valuation comes in with what you own. You will own, if you will have the ability to build up to where you own the revenue share that's coming in. So not only do you own it, not only are you receiving revenue, you own that revenue, and you can get to 100% splits on your commission with no cap.
For life.
For life.
No cap.
You're not paying a dime into the brokerage. So a lot of people go start a brokerage just to make 100% split. But what they're not thinking about is the expenses that they're going to have, that's going to take their split down back to 80% in most cases, maybe 90%, depending on if you run a thin business. But now there's a brokerage at Bricks where you are on 100% split. You don't have to pay a dime to the brokerage, not even when you close a deal. Most places say when you cap, you still have a transaction fee that comes out of your commission. Okay, so you're gonna have a true 100%. You have revenue share, and you own what you are building, and you get all the resources, the technology, and there's no monthly fees. You don't have to pay for it, right?
Guys, you can't get that anywhere.
You can't even go start a so how
get
how
that at
does that
Bricks.
work, right? If you want to know how it works, you're gonna have to call us.
Well, and then it's just a brokerage
Comment down below.
growing within itself
and
of like the one you've built within.
I'll give you
Bricks.
guys a hint. The hint is it's all about volume. Volume is the key.
Anything.
Because you need the numbers to make it work.
At
Right?
the grocery store, that's what we always preach
Yeah.
is how much volume can we get?
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I'll take 5 truckloads, and that's what we always did. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yep.
It really is. It just depends on
How do you play the
and
numbers?
where you want to go. But if you want to just do a traditional team, guys, you're a recruiter. You are recruiting people, and you're gonna forever have to recruit people.
If you want to just produce, you're a recruiter
If
because
you-
you're
yeah.
recruiting clients.
So
to
whether
use
you're a
you.
producer or a recruiter, you're still a recruiter.
Yeah. So get used to it.
So in other
That's all
words, go
she
out
wrote.
there and recruit.
No, it's just a bad connotation. Just don't feel bad if people are trying to recruit you. If anything, that should be like nice that someone is recruiting
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like the weird, like, oh, you should join me, and then they don't understand,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Well, just look at it as like an opportunity,
It's
right?
an opportunity.
It's just an opportunity
To
that
learn.
may go somewhere, it may not. But that's the
Yeah.
great thing about opportunities. You'll never know what it's going to be if you don't actually take advantage of the opportunity.
And if you already understand the system that someone's trying to talk to you about, and you know that you understand, and there's no reason to get upset. You don't have to go. You don't have to go, but don't commit to going and then don't show up either. You know,
yeah,
that's
that's
another
a whole
topic.
other
Yeah,
topic.
yeah.
we could do a
I
whole
I don't know why I even
season.
brought that in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
No, just
I don't,
kidding.
even, I don't even know why you said that.
right at the end.
Yeah,
too.
just don't even
Yeah.
move on.
Bad
It's
feelings.
about time.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Okay.
your time. Anyways.
And learn. You should always learn. If you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying.
All right, we're playing Never Have I Ever. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
What is it called?
No. Would
Would
you
you
rather?
rather?
Never have I ever.
I feel like at this point you got to be doing that on purpose.
Never
right?
have I ever recruited anybody.
Nope. Not a soul.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't drink to that. Okay. Would you rather?
Welcome to Would You Rather with Lauren Downs.
That sounded so sad.
No, it sounded
Why
like-
so
no,
down.
It sounded like she was like
No.
on a
A radio late night.
radio
Yes.
show.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lauren
Welcome.
Downs with the Get Down.
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
I was just keeping it chill this morning, you know? Okay, question number 1.
Absolutely
Oh God, I'm not doing it.
Good answers. Would you rather have to say every thought out loud or
Oh.
never be able to speak again?
I
Oh,
almost said
this
it.
one. Okay, so
Never be able to speak again.
I would never be. I would never. I just did this one with April.
You did?
Like a couple
I
weeks
think
ago.
it would be my thoughts, and I would just learn to control them.
April said she would rather say everything out loud, that every thought, and I said I would rather keep everything inside, never speak again.
Yeah.
And I think that's also like maybe a gender thing too.
I
What did you say?
think-
I said I think I'd rather just say my thoughts out loud and just learn to control them.
Yeah.
I feel like I
But
kind
you-
of do that anyways. It's
Oh, like learn to control your
Yeah.
thoughts. Okay, yeah.
You pretty much know how I feel.
You would hurt a lot of feelings.
Yeah,
She does hurt.
I
a lot of
already
feelings.
do
I
hurt a
know.
lot of feelings.
But imagine,
Like,
and,
she
and you
does
and
hurt
you
a lot of
and you have a
feelings.
filter. So imagine if you
Yeah,
had no
sometimes.
filter and you had to say everything. I mean,
Curtis and I would not be friends.
I mean,
Yeah,
oh
but
gosh,
like-
that
but
doesn't
I'm
make me
just
feel good.
kidding.
But
But
I mean,
just-
you probably
I have
wouldn't be
so many
married
thoughts.
anymore.
No,
you
I
know?
was
Just think, just think about all the
I wouldn't have
times where
any
you had
friends.
like bite your tongue, and you did.
You can't
At
do
those,
that.
yeah, at those times you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd
Because
be
I can
okay with
just- I can
saying
just-
what you got to say out loud to
Yes,
someone. And,
I said
and
I'll just
uh,
learn to control it.
You gotta,
I have to.
you gotta
talk.
control your thoughts. She has
I
that
gotta.
talk.
I gotta recruit people.
But
I
wait,
would
can
write
you
it down.
control it if it just
Write it
comes out
down.
all the time.
Can I recruit people without talking?
You can
Yeah,
write,
you
yeah,
can
write it down.
That's
Text
a lot.
message,
Text message.
DMs.
No, I
Yeah.
can't do reading.
That's a lot.
spelling.
Learn sign language.
I can't say words, and I really can't write.
I'm gonna have to
That's
keep
true.
all my. I would rather just
Okay.
not.
I
talk
could just
again.
chill. I could just chill and be happy. And
Yeah, I
fine.
could just not talk. I'll be
Yeah,
cool with that.
we could just be like this, but like
I'll be like hanging out with y'all, and you.
Oh
My
gosh.
God.
Okay,
Anyways,
next question.
if you're not watching, they have no idea. If they're just listening, they have
Watch
no
the
idea what
YouTube
happened.
yeah, you're gonna have
It's
to
worth
watch
it.
this episode.
Okay. Would you rather punch a hornet's nest or a sleepy bear?
a
hornet's
A
nest.
hornet's nest. I am not waking
Wait,
up
what
a bear.
kind of
No. Yeah, what kind of bear?
A panda bear?
Oh no, those are mean. Panda bears.
Yeah, pandas
And
are
polar bears?
nasty. Panda,
Polar bears are by
If it was
far
a
the
if it was a
nastiest.
Yeah,
black
Alaska.
black bear, I might punch a black bear.
Yeah.
Over
I
a
was gonna say
hornet's
black
nest.
bears
That
are
would be
Jeff
bad.
says sleeping bear. So take
I'm
that
good.
how you will.
No,
I-
I'm still doing the hornet.
I'm running.
I'm not.
and then I'm running.
I'm not
I don't know.
messing
Because
with
I
no
saw
bear.
there's a guy that Jonah likes to watch. I forgot what his name is. And he does weird things with animals, and a hornet's nest will only follow you for like a half a mile or something like that.
They'll chase
So-
you even
That's a
half a
lot.
mile,
Yes.
dude. That's still a long
That is
run.
a long
That's a long run, but a bear will chase you down until they get you.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very
You know?
Especially if you're
Listen.
around their little baby cubs.
Yeah.
We just started
You're
kickball, and I
done.
can barely run to first.
And
base.
bears are faster than you.
And they can climb
Well,
everything.
you better start.
Yes.
And they can
Getting
swim.
on the
Yeah,
treadmill,
you're,
huh?
you're
I know,
done.
God.
Yeah.
I like run
The
to
bear
first
gets you,
base,
you're
and I'm
done.
like, and one time I
Ask
had to run
Leonardo
to
DiCaprio.
second base all at the same time.
You ever
It was
seen
not
that?
Great.
Did he really get
The
is
Rev-
it in real?
the-
oh,
no,
from the movie.
The
Yeah.
movie, what's the movie called? The
This
Revenant.
is how
The
like,
Revenant.
the men
Yeah.
are over here having a conversation.
Okay, last
Or not.
question.
Yeah.
Last question.
Last question. Okay.
I think,
Would-
right? I don't know.
We can make it the last one. Would you rather go to jail for a crime you didn't commit or someone else go to jail for a crime you committed?
Someone else go to
Someone
jail
else.
for
Someone
a
else can
crime
go.
I did. I did.
Selfish ass bitches right
I
here.
don't even
So
gotta
we know
think about
everybody's
that.
character here.
Yeah,
I
no,
said two
sorry.
bad words just now.
What'd you say?
Shit.
Selfish ass bitches.
Yep.
Oh, you said
To
it
all of
four
us.
now.
Yeah.
Now
Thank you
four.
for repeating it.
Well, good.
Good.
I feel like you can say ass.
Oh no, the radio guy said.
Yeah,
that.
the radio guy said you can't say ass.
I know. So I was trying to. Be
You just
funny.
can't say Jack in front of it or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
that's what it was.
I was
You
like, that's
can't
just
say
dumb.
jackass.
Jonah.
Dylan.
Dylan, you just
Now I'm gonna have
Lauren
to-
has
Now
to
Lauren
bleep a
has to do
bunch
all
of
these editing. Anyway.
But that makes
Dang
no
it.
sense.
I don't know. That's what he said. I don't know
No,
if
but
it's
that
specifically that.
I know it doesn't make sense, but it was that. It was 100%. You can't say Jack in front of it, and then you put it together. People could have figured out how to put.
We're
that
gonna get
together.
sued now. We're trying to get sponsorships.
We can't even
from
release-
Don't
McDonald's.
sue me.
We
Sue
can't-
Jack.
we
He's not
can't-
the guy letting you say his name on the freaking radio
We
station.
can say his name,
It's
Jack,
more
Jack, Jack, Jack,
A
Jack.
donkey.
ass.
Oh my gosh. Thank
Yeah,
you for that,
we
Dylan.
can't release this episode.
Well, Lauren, you
Just
didn't say
kidding.
what you would do. Would you go to jail for something you didn't commit, or are you just blaming it on the next guy?
If for something you did
You know,
commit,
I don't want to go to jail because I would get eaten alive. So unfortunately I'd probably just have to live with the guilt of blaming someone.
yeah, and the guilt would only
Yeah, no.
last for depending on your
I would
character.
be
No, I don't
You
know.
a day
wouldn't
to
either.
years. You know,
I would either run the whole thing
Part of your whole life.
and have to stab some people
Or
to
you would-
prove my dominance,
or you would die. Yeah.
or I would have to drop the soap.
Yeah, it would not be fun. I tell you
That's
that
how I would
much.
survive prison.
That's funny.
You just have to go in there and just smack someone right in the face right off the bat for no reason.
make
just
it
let
stink with a
everybody know you're not
toothbrush.
fucking with me.
yeah. Yeah.
We should start practicing just
Yeah,
in case.
we're gonna have to.
Just kidding.
When
I-
recruit,
I-
this is recruiting. They come in, just sock them. You want to join?
Like, how dare you recruit me and someone get mad and we get in some like
Yeah.
altercation?
I will not
What'd you
go
go
to
to
your
prison
company.
for? Recruiting.
Recruiting someone.
It
Well,
was
no,
so
just
bad. This podcast was terrible.
Hey, no,
Recruiting is bad. I'm
but
just
just
kidding.
blame it on another brokerage, so someone from them gets in trouble, not us.
Mm,
Oh, there you go.
no,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do that.
Well,
That's so
anyways,
mean.
go.
We need
I'm just
competition.
Go
doing
watch
Would
all
You
these
Rather.
episodes on YouTube, Podbean, Audible, Spotify.
And thanks for listening to us,
Yeah.
Ramble. Seriously, we're just goofy. We're fun. It's unscripted, and we're just all about, just life.
And we want to teach, learn. We want to coach. We want people to hopefully get something out of this.
So thank you. This actually completes our first season. So
Yeah, on
season
mindset.
1 is complete.
You don't have to hear anything more about mindset, but it's important.
It is very important.
Get
I'm
the right
sure
mindset.
We're still going to talk about mindset in general.
It's gonna come up all the time. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Click like, subscribe.
Gotta jump in, gotta start climbing, show up and win. Never stop striving, it's gonna be worth it, wait and see. Building your